Gibson, as well as Under Sheriff Corey Gibson, Coreygibson. Behind me is Outwater Police Chief Salvador, as well as California Highway Patrol Sergeant Laura. Sheriff.
Thank you and good morning. First and foremost, with the folks from the media, you're going to see family here. I would appreciate it if you would respect their privacy in this, and you'll have time to talk with them later after the investigation is complete. We would like you to respect their privacy and let it go at that. On October 3rd at approximately 11:39 a.m., the California Highway Patrol and CAL FIRE were dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road in Winton for a report of a vehicle fire. After they responded to the fire, Highway Patrol determined who the registered owner was and found out that they lived in the city of Merced, and they requested the city of Merced Police Department respond to the address and try and contact the registered owner. When the police department got to the house, nobody responded. However, they did make communication with a family member. That family member then started to make calls to the people that we were looking for. At this particular moment in time, we have not had any reports of missing persons. It wasn't until the family reached out to us, and then after their several attempts made to report the family missing. At approximately 1:04 p.m., our office was notified and responded to the business on South 59. When our patrol staff, sergeants, and deputies got on scene, they made a determination that we probably had a crime, and through investigative leads, they brought detectives in, and they were able to determine that a kidnapping had in fact occurred. At that time, the investigation started. Under Sheriff, you want to take over now?
So while our investigators were out on Highway 59, family continued to reach out to the three missing people. They were able to make contact with someone on one of the phones. That phone was with a farmer that was out in the area of Henry Miller and Elgin, north of Dos Palace. Investigators at the scene continued to look at investigative leads and were able to get into the surveillance system. And so we'd like to go over the surveillance system with you. So at 8:30 a.m., we could see Jasdeep arrive in a brown minivan. At 8:39, you see Amandeep. He arrives in his black Dodge pickup. It's down on the corner. You can see the pickup here. These cameras are motion sensitive, and they go off every 30 seconds once they detect motion, so that some of the video is choppy. At 8:58, you see Jasdeep come out the back door, and it's very important to note there's someone walking down South Highway 59 South. We're not sure if the dog alerted him, if there was some type of motion sensor or some type of app on his phone, that's why he came out and looked. At 8:59, this is the other side. You can see a subject walking down south on Highway 59 at the business. And you'll see Jasdeep come out, and he appears to be on his phone, and we're not sure, again, if he's got a motion or what's alerting him to come outside. Jazz Deep goes over and makes contact with our suspect, and then you'll see them walking back over towards the building. He's got this trash bag in his hand. As Jeep walks up to the building, we'll pause it and get a photo of our suspect. And he'll continue to walk up the ramp. He'll put down the trash bag, and you'll see right there, he pulls out a firearm. He then enters the business. Unfortunately, there's no cameras inside of the business, so we have no video surveillance inside. At 9/11, the back door opens. You'll see the suspect come out, and you'll see the firearm. And then it also appears that Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are zip tied behind their backs. Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are put in the back seat of the pickup truck. All right, so that was 9:13 when the vehicle left. It's now 9:19. The truck is back. Same suspect gets out of the vehicle, goes back inside the business. Less than a minute later, you're going to see Jasleen and Arohi come out of the business unrestrained. And you'll see the truck leave southbound Highway 59 right before the video ends. From this point on, we no longer see any of the 4 victims on video at the location, or the suspect vehicle, or the suspect. Talk about the rest. At that point, we assigned all of our detectives, including our investigations bureau, our supervised release team, our STAR team, and along with the county magnet to this investigation. They also were able to get the FBI along with the California Department of Justice involved, and we've been working on this case diligently from the moment that we were informed of the missing. From that point, we worked on several investigative leads, which led us to an incident that occurred in the city of Atwater yesterday just prior to noon. During that incident, the city of Atwater received information that there was an individual in the city that may be connected to this case. Prior to the law enforcement arriving on scene, that subject, Jesus Soldado, made an attempt on his life and was taken by ambulance to the hospital for medical treatment. Since then, we've been unable to speak to the suspect in this case due to his medical condition and his attempt on his own life. I'll turn it back over to the sheriff for any other questions.
We are currently with the suspect now at the medical treatment facility, waiting for the doctors to get him to a point where he can cooperate. We're hoping that he will cooperate because first and foremost, we want the family back. So that's where we are at this point. I'll open any questions.
Sheriff, I see you talking with the family. How is it?
Family's taking it rough as expected, and that's why I asked for your diligence in respecting their privacy in this matter. Let the family deal with the family on this. The media, you guys deal with me, and leave the family alone. It's very upsetting. We've got a lot of people here supporting the family, and this right now, until we can get our loved ones back, that's where we're at with this. So let us handle you guys as far as media. Leave the family out of it. Appreciate that. The family has taken it pretty rough, but the family's very, very supportive of what we're doing and supplying whatever they can as far as any information that would help us get their loved ones back.
Sheriff, do you believe Soldado acted alone in this?
We don't have any evidence to say that he didn't. However, 43 years doing this, everything points to that it was probably somebody else, but we don't know until we get some kind of conversation going with the suspect. We're not 100%. It's just that seeing everything that's gone on, I fully believe that there was at least one other person involved, but we don't have any evidence to support that. It's just the circumstances surrounding this. I believe that there is. We don't know.
You still have not been able to link the victim to Salgado in any way, shape, or form?
Not yet. And that's what we're hoping for with hopefully a conversation with the suspect.
Sheriff, any motive people?
We don't have a motive. I can tell you that our suspect has a prior history of robbery, and he was actually convicted of it in 2005, and once he was sentenced, he was paroled in 2015. And since the parole, we have not had any major contact with this person at all, but we kind of figure that that's what the motive is right now until we prove otherwise. That it's almost always what you can come out is a financial, trying to.
Is he cooperating?
We haven't, so far he's been sedated, but we've had deputies on scene the entire time he's been in the medical facility, and as soon as he is able to, the doctors know that there's a rush on this, so everybody's been very supportive and cooperative, but right now we've got to get this person into a position where we can start asking questions and hopefully get some answers.
Did we get any, what kind of car did he drive with?
The only vehicle that we had that was sustained was the black Dodge belonging to our family. And any others, we've got some possible leads. We think we have a gray pickup involved, but until we get evidence to really tie it in, that's where we are. Again, we're sharing everything we have with you, and normally, I'll tell you right now, we wouldn't be sharing all of this. We want the family back. So at this point in time, that's all my focus is to get the family back. So we want anybody with any information to reach out, come to us, and I know we have our tip line number here somewhere, and we'll get that to you so that the folks can call in for tips. Give me that.
309-385-7547.
Did you guys get that? Okay. That's our tip line. Our dispatch center has been inundated. Please call the tip line. For any folks that are watching this, please call that tip line and that number or the information will be directed immediately to somebody that can follow up on any tips that come in, and we're following every tip that comes in, to include our psychics that are calling in, literally. So we're not leaving any stone unturned, any blade of grass. Everything we have is out there. Our air unit's been out constantly on this. The city of Atwater has one of their officers as one of our pilots, and been very diligent in getting that support in. The city of Atwater, tremendous help and making sure that we keep that aircraft in the air to do whatever we can. California Highway Patrol, as you can see, they're here. We've got the FBI and DOJ involved in this. We've got dozens of law enforcement personnel working day and night for this. We keep going until it's concluded, and that's just how it goes. I mean, literally, there's not 5 o'clock, we go home. It's not that way with us. They continue on until they run out of leads.
The farmer that found one of the cell phones, what, if anything, did that farmer say?
That he found the phone in the middle of the street, okay? And that was all that was to it. Unfortunately, the family had called that number, and he answered. That's how we got the information. We sent a detective and got possession of those phones. Yes, sir. No, no, and that, yeah. Just in some other videos that we're seeing, and just like I say, everything that we've got, that's what we're going on. We had one, and we're looking into that. So, like I say, everything that we have that could be possible, everything is on the table. Nothing's off the table, sir. No, he attempted suicide prior to any law enforcement contact. The family had told our suspect that they had in fact contacted law enforcement because of what he had told them, and rather than talk with law enforcement, he attempted to take his own life. No, we know how. We're not sharing that in case we have other information coming in that can tie into that directly. So that's why we're holding that in. But we can tell you that he attempted to take his own life.
How far from the crime scene?
It was at a house in the city of Atwater. It wasn't anywhere near the crime scene. Yes, ma'am.
The robbery in 2005, did that involve kidnapping?
It involved false imprisonment. There's a difference between false imprisonment and kidnapping. False imprisonment is stationary, so I go into your house, I hold you there, can't make you leave or won't let you leave. That's false imprisonment. Kidnapping is I take you out of your house to someplace different. And that was also armed robbery. And just so happens Under Sheriff Gibson was the detective that worked that case. It's a trucking company. No, I don't believe that's involved at all. At this point, we have nothing to indicate other than we think always money until we've proven otherwise. So, and again, we're hoping to find out today as soon as possible by our suspect. Hopefully he will cooperate with us and give us some information. Right now, the big question and the first question is asked, where's the family? And that's where we're going. So I shared with the family, obviously we have to worry about court and everything else. I'm not worried about court right now. We'll deal with court later. I'm worried about getting that family back. And that's how we're focused on this. 100% of our energy is trying to get our family back.
Any businesses nearby who have CCTV over there?
We've checked every business, every residence that we've been able to. We've had a couple where the truck was burned. We're trying to get that. It's really grainy stuff. We're talking about out in the rural, very rural areas. So every place that's been going on, detectives, all of our people have been trying to get whatever information and whatever videos are available. Yes, sir. No, that weapon is still outstanding.
Any other victim in their area? Was anybody else in the building at the time?
Everybody in the building that we know of was taken by the suspect with him having a gun in his hand. So the threat of the gun in his hand, we're hoping that because the family cooperated with the suspect, that it will get good results here. That's what we're hoping for at all times. That's why we're working so hard to make sure that this comes to that conclusion. We haven't determined on anything. Family's been very good about giving us all the records. I will tell you, with the FBI's help, Dealing with the local financial institutions has proven challenging, and they're a little bit, I'll say, slow in getting any information to us. They're doing what they can when they can, but what we're finding out is the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. So you got one aspect of the financial institutions got in charge of all the videos. The other hand is doing all the financials. Well, they don't talk to each other. And we've got to have both of those communicated. So we're working on getting that part done. So again, we can only move so fast as other people, but we're on the ground getting after it. Until we get it, otherwise, to me, almost all crimes are committed based upon, you know, the financial aspect, until we find something different. So we're going at it, eyes open. You know, everything's on the table, but that's the only thing we can figure out because of this guy's history. Is that was his motivation back then. So I'm figuring it's probably the same now. Okay, let's clarify something. With the bank, we know we had a transaction with our family. The bank had two transactions at the exact same time. They gave us a photograph from a different bank. Okay, it wasn't intentional, wasn't it? But it was there. So we got that person identified and cleared off the radar. He's no longer a person of interest. So we're hoping to get the other information.
Was that transaction big enough that could be related to the money changes?
It wasn't a lot, but it was still a transaction using our family's financial information. So that's, again, with the money. Again, the information we don't want to let out about how much is because we want people, if they got information, we want to know that they're telling the truth and are accurate with it. But because of that, the transaction itself leads me to believe that there was a money issue.
Sheriff, is time in the essence because of the baby?
It's everybody, not just that family, but we got family here. Time is of the essence because we want to get this taken care of now. We don't know where. We don't know what. We want that to happen. So right now, prayers need to be going that somehow this suspect is convinced to talk to us, because that person right now is our sole lead on where the people are. We're working everything else. Yes, dear?
Yesterday, you guys said he was in critical condition. Today, you're saying that you're hopeful that he is going to wake up.
Well, the wake-up part was a medically induced sedation, okay? Because of the treatment, they didn't want him thrashing around. I can tell you that every time he's even come near consciousness, he's been violent, okay? So we don't know, but the medical issue is because the doctors are treating him, and to get that treatment done, he has to be sedated. So, anything else go? Yes, sir.
Talk to his prior accomplices of the suspect.
They didn't have any accomplices in that first one. He acted by himself.
Even
And then 2005, okay, as that investigation clearly showed it, he was by himself and he knew the victims. So we don't know what the suspect is at this point. Again, waiting on some possible cooperation from him to us.
so far, any eyewitnesses came forward?
Nothing. Nothing. We just have him picked up on that surveillance walking southbound on Highway 59 near the business. That's the only one that we got that shows him walking. We don't have any video to show that he was dropped off. We show nothing except he was walking. No, I said in the first one they did. We don't know what this guy does or doesn't know. We haven't been able to talk to him. So far, my speculation is financial. Until we prove otherwise, until that, and again, we don't believe there's a hate crime involved. We just think that this guy, because of his history, he's a robber, he's a thief, needs to be in prison, okay? So that's where he needs to be. Hopefully we'll get him to communicate with us so we can get this family. No.
What can you tell us about the suspect? He lives in Atwater?
The suspect has been a Merced County resident, and I believe he's also been a Madera County resident. Is that right? Yes. And since he was paroled in 2015, little is known. Okay, we're still trying to gather information on his personal side, but like I say, right now we're just trying to get the family. Once we get the family back, then we're going to start piecing together everything so we can go to trial. But right now, trial's the farthest thing on my mind. So we don't know what he's been doing since 2015. We're going to try to find that out, but like I say, once we get today. So that's where we're stuck at right now. So giving you all the information we have pertaining to this. Some of the stuff we're not sharing because in case somebody steps forward, okay, they can say, well, I saw him at whatever bank. Thank you. Then we know that person is telling us the truth. If we give that information, somebody comes, hey, we can, we've discouraged the family at this point to offering any rewards because everybody in the world comes out. We will entertain that later as this thing progresses. I saw another, yes, ma'am. Just that everything was scorched. And if you had CAL FIRE here, they would tell you the one thing, fire kills all. And once you've done that, we had the physical evidence. There was no indication of anything other than a burnt truck. People were saying about all kinds of gruesome stuff. There was nothing like that. It was just the truck that was burned. So that part I was not on scene, and if the investigators found that, they did not share it with me. No, I believe he's a resident of this county and or Madera County because he's got family members here.
Sheriff, while the cameras are here, does the family want to make any plea publicly today while everybody's available?
Yes. Would you like to, Mom? Give him your name and your relationship with the family.
My name is Sukhdeep. I'm a brother of Merced family. I'm talking for my whole family. I just want to tell all the people who are watching me right now through all this media, every store, gas station, everybody who ever have the cameras, please check the camera. If you guys have any helpful tip or video, please provide it to the sheriff department or law enforcement department. They're trying their best what they can do, but we need a public help right now. So I want to say strongly again to everybody who ever watching me, please help us out, come forward, so my family come home safe. Thank you.
This is a peace-loving family and running a small business in the Merced area. We have been living in this area for a long time. We are devastated, we are shocked, we are dying every moment, not finding any clues. So if anyone has seen anything, even a small interaction, somebody at the gas station, somebody buying something, where the suspect was taking them, any shifting of cars when he was doing that, or if he was doing that, so please do come forward. Any small lead could get us to our family. And I wanted to also thank all the sheriff department and the people that are involved, the media channels, outlets as well. And I would also say that please share it. It could be beyond California, so if we could get help, taking it out to all of the public, national news, that will, get us more traction in finding those suspects. Thank you.
Your name.
Balwinder. Balwinder. B-A-L-W-I-N-D-E-R. It's something that nobody is prepared for dealing with, right? So we are just hoping and praying every moment. We put a lot of faith in our police department that they will be able to find our family. But all of us are trying to look for ways that we can deal with this, or we can help out in any ways. If we could, start, handing out pamphlets or things like that at gas stations, at convenience stores. Like somebody might have seen something. We want to reach out to the public and request them to come forward. Thank you.
I'd like you to spell your name for me.
Sukhdeep, S-U-K-H-D, David, E-E-P as in Peter. Sukhdeep Singh, S-I-N-G-H. I'm a brother, yes. First cousin. Thank you.
All right, folks, if there's no more questions on this, we're going to conclude this conference.
Might tell me it's Spanish speaking India. They announced that we have Spanish.
We also have a translator for Spanish and Punjabi as well.
Speak into the microphone.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. We also have a translator for Punjabi and Spanish as well. Huh? Oh, it's not?
You guys, we're going to try and get it out there so that
Spanish?
as long as you
Okay.
have it, we don't.
I'll bring the camera down.